In the annals of organized crime, the tales of two figures stand out, casting long shadows across history. Pablo Escobar and Al Capone. From distinct eras and regions, these men carved indelible marks on the dark tapestry of criminal history. Emerging from the verdant landscapes of Colombia, Pablo Escobar, the notorious leader of the Medellin cartel, orchestrated a vast and formidable empire. His reign over the global narcotics trade left a profound impact, not just in Colombia, but echoed across the world. In stark contrast, Al Capone's legacy was etched into the streets of Prohibition-era Chicago. Dominating the underworld with bootlegging, gambling, and violence, Capone's influence reshaped the very nature of organized crime. Their stories transcend mere infamy. These men didn't just build criminal empires, they altered the socio-economic landscapes of their territories, leaving behind a complex legacy of crime, wealth, and power. Join us on Tales of Titans as we unravel the intricate narratives of these two legendary figures and explore the depths of their influence. Who were they really? What drove them? Stay with us as we dive into the gripping tales of Escobar and Capone. We start with none other than Pablo Escobar, the king of cocaine and his Medellin cartel. Let's explore how this empire became a dominant force in the global narcotics trade. Founded in the late 1970s, the Medellin cartel under Escobar's ruthless leadership expanded rapidly. Their operations spanned continents, involving the cultivation, processing, and distribution of massive quantities of cocaine. Imagine this. At its peak, the cartel was responsible for up to 80% of the cocaine entering the United States. That's a staggering market share. This dominance translated into astronomical profits. Reports suggest that Escobar's cartel was raking in almost $21.9 billion annually. That's right, billion with a B. This immense wealth catapulted Escobar into being one of the wealthiest criminals in history. But the impact of the Medellin cartel wasn't just on the narcotics market. They also had a profound influence on the political and social landscape of Colombia. Escobar tried to position himself as a modern-day Robin Hood, funding community projects and infrastructure, but beneath this veneer was a brutal reality of violence and corruption. His reign was marked by a period of intense conflict and narco-terrorism, changing the face of Colombia forever. Now, let's shift gears and travel back to the Roaring '20s, to the streets of Chicago, where Al Capone, also known as Scarface, reigned supreme in the American underworld. A notorious figure of the Prohibition era, Capone's story is one of cunning, wealth, and immense power. Prohibition, a time when America said no to alcohol, creating a perfect storm for figures like Capone to rise. Leading the Chicago outfit, his criminal enterprise was a complex web of bootlegging, gambling, prostitution, and racketeering. Capone's operations were extensive. He turned the demand for alcohol into an art of supply, smuggling vast quantities into Chicago and distributing them throughout the city. Believe it or not, Capone's empire was generating about $100 million annually. That's over $1.5 billion in today's dollars. This wasn't just a testament to his criminal acumen, but a glaring highlight of the huge market for illegal activities during Prohibition. Capone wasn't just a mobster, he was a trendsetter in organized crime. His mix of charm and violence set a new standard. The Chicago outfit, under his rule, became a model for future criminal organizations. But let's not romanticize Capone too much. His reign was marked by brutal events, like the infamous St. Valentine's Day Massacre, a violent chapter in gang warfare. Capone's story also reveals the deep corruption in law enforcement and politics during that era. His ability to evade the law, often through bribery and intimidation, posed a significant challenge to policing organized crime. Ironically, it wasn't the numerous crimes he orchestrated that led to his downfall, but tax evasion. This marked a pivotal moment in the legal battle against organized crime. Al Capone, a figure that looms large in the annals of American crime. A complex character whose legacy is a blend of brutal criminality and a certain cunning charisma. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into these criminal titans and what they teach us about the era they dominated. In the world of organized crime, wealth isn't just a measure of success, it's power. Today, we delve into the staggering fortunes of two of history's most notorious criminals, Pablo Escobar and Al Capone. At the zenith of his power, Pablo Escobar was among the world's richest. With a net worth estimated at $30 billion, his wealth was a direct result of his dominance in the global cocaine market. Escobar's investments were bold and extravagant. He owned numerous properties, including the famous Hacienda Nápoles, a lavish estate with private zoos and exotic animals. Living a life of opulence, Escobar also tried to paint himself as a Robin Hood figure, but beneath this facade lay a brutal reality of violence and corruption. His wealth had profound implications on Colombia's economy and politics, contributing to a culture of corruption and violence, and even leading him to briefly enter politics. Now, let's turn to Al Capone. In the late 1920s, his net worth was around $100 million, equivalent to $1.3 billion today. His fortune came from bootlegging, gambling, prostitution, and other rackets. Capone's investments in real estate and entertainment venues were strategic, serving both as fronts for his operations and sources of legitimate income. Known for his extravagant lifestyle, Capone wore his wealth like a badge of honor, cultivating a public image of respectability despite his criminal activities. Capone's wealth had a significant impact on Chicago's economy and politics, filling a demand for alcohol and entertainment during Prohibition, but also fostering corruption and lawlessness. But these empires couldn't last forever. The fall of a titan is often as dramatic as their rise. Now, let's delve into the downfall of these most notorious figures in criminal history. Pablo Escobar, the infamous king of cocaine, found his empire under siege by Colombian and international law enforcement. The global war on drugs had marked him and his Medellin cartel as prime targets. Despite corruption and intimidation tactics, a prolonged manhunt led to Escobar's arrest in 1991. But his imprisonment was anything but typical. He was housed in La Catedral, a luxurious prison he constructed, continuing his operations with amenities like a football pitch and a bar. This period marked the beginning of the end for Escobar. Power struggles within the Medellin cartel intensified, and his 1992 escape led to a final showdown in 1993, ending his reign in a hail of bullets. Meanwhile, in Chicago, Al Capone's criminal empire seemed invincible. Yet, it was tax evasion, not his notorious crimes, that led to his downfall. Capone's legal battles peaked in 1931 when he was charged with tax evasion. The highly publicized trial resulted in an 11-year prison sentence, including time in the infamous Alcatraz. Capone's imprisonment signaled a shift in organized crime in Chicago. The Chicago outfit didn't dissolve, but transformed, moving towards more discreet criminal activities. The fall of these criminal titans marked a turning point. Escobar's death symbolized the intense battle against drug cartels, while Capone's conviction showcased the effectiveness of financial investigations in combating organized crime. The stories of Escobar and Capone remind us of the intricate dance between crime and justice, power and downfall, and the lasting impact of such figures on history and society. As we reach the end of today's riveting journey on Tales of Titans, let's take a moment to reflect on the extraordinary lives of Pablo Escobar and Al Capone. Two titans of the criminal world, their stories are not just tales of power and wealth, but also of ambition, downfall, and the far-reaching impact of organized crime. Escobar and Capone, though separated by time and geography, shared similarities in building vast criminal empires that challenged and evaded the law. While Escobar's empire was built on the global cocaine trade, Capone thrived on the bootlegging opportunities of Prohibition-era America. Their strategies, though different, redefined the scale and scope of organized crime. Both lived lives of extravagance, wielding power that extended beyond the criminal underworld into society and politics. Yet, their legacies are complex, marked by violence, corruption, but also a strange form of philanthropy that endeared them to some. Their stories challenge our understanding of morality and power within the societal fabric. Their eventual downfalls, Escobar in a hail of bullets and Capone succumbing to the law on tax evasion, are reminders of the inevitable clash between criminal ambition and the forces of justice. Their arrests not only marked the end of their reigns, but also signaled shifts in how law enforcement approaches organized crime. The tales of Pablo Escobar and Al Capone are more than just chronicles of crime. They are cautionary tales about the impacts of unchecked power and greed. Their stories echo through time, reminding us of the delicate balance between order and chaos and the enduring impact of these titans on history and society. As we close this chapter on Tales of Titans, let's ponder the lessons these stories impart, the allure of power, the complexity of human nature, and the indelible mark left on society by such enigmatic figures. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more tales of the titanic figures who have shaped our world in ways both infamous and profound.